So today we're here with Ørjan Nyland, goalkeeper of Sevilla. I wanted to start talking about the start you had in your career. I read that you did also handball and ski.
Yes.
Besides football. What was the thing that made you choose football in the first place?
No, I think what appealed to me the most was definitely football, even though I had fun doing the other sports. And then probably a little bit influenced by my father, who was a goalkeeper on not professional level, but still a goalkeeper. So, and then in the end, I just felt more appealed to, make sure that the balls did not go into the net instead of scoring them. So, yeah.
And what do you think has helped you from skiing and handball in your career as a goalkeeper?
No, obviously being in the goal in handball as well, it's a smaller ball from very short distance. It moves very quickly, so you can train your reactions, and you can definitely take advantage of that. Skiing, you need coordination and strength, and a good balance as well. So I think that was helping me along the way also.
After your beginning of your career in Norway, you arrived at Ingolstadt in Germany. How was your way of moving to Germany, and how did you adapt to Germany? What was like the thing that was more difficult about Germany's life and German people?
No, obviously being a foreigner, it's important to learn the language. I did have the language in school growing up in Norway, so I learned a little bit German. But as soon as you move to the country and you hear the language, it's important to learn it, to understand what's going on in the dressing room. Not only like the football German, but also everything that happens around the club, to be able to talk to everyone and get really integrated. So I think that was maybe the most difficult thing, even though I was able to learn it fairly quick because of my background, having it in school. So yeah, other than that, I think Germany is a pretty similar place and culture-wise to Norway, so it was easy to adapt and very friendly people and neighbors that we had. So we have a lot of fun memories as a family as well, with having kids growing up in Germany also, and learning German. So it was a good adventure for us, definitely.
Great. In your year that you are relegated with Ingolstadt, it's also the debut year of RB Leipzig in Bundesliga. Yeah. And I wanted to ask you how it was to play against Leipzig in that first season, and if you already felt that people in Germany didn't want them around.
I think I noticed that more when I played for Leipzig last season. That kind of rivalry, but Ingolstadt was almost in the same kind of way, funded by a main sponsor, very new and late founded club. So I think we could almost
relate.
Yes, relate. I think so, because obviously maybe RB Leipzig did it a little bit different, but I think all in all it's similar. But it was very fun to play against them in the Bundesliga also. I think that was one of my good games also at home. I think we managed to keep the win, or it was a draw, I think, if I recall correctly. So no, it's been a pleasure to play for both of them.
And actually, you talked now about playing for Leipzig, and you said that you felt this rivalry and this hate a little bit more when you played for them. And they are called they are usually called like the most hated team in Germany. Do you think this is accurate? Do you think that this is correct? Are they the most hated team in Germany?
Well, probably. And I think it's got a lot to do of how not only how quick and fast they achieved success, but probably in the way they did it also. But all in all, I think they have deserved every achievement they have, every promotion. It's been hard work, and there's been a lot of different players, coaches, and people in charge of the club as well. So I think they have a business model now that have taken them from, let's say, zero to Champions League football almost consistently every year, which is a great achievement. And then obviously, like I said, when I was there, you can feel the tension a lot more from people shouting different stuff in the stands, which is normal, but maybe a little bit more directly towards us. And then just simple things like leaving tickets behind for people to pick them up would have to happen in the hotel and not in the stadium, because of you would never know what's going to happen with the tickets. So no, it was a fun experience. So and for us, it's for us last season, it was only motivation. I mean, like if everyone wants to be bad against you, it's just motivation to beat the opponent even more.
Just for finalizing with your time in Germany, which of the young players you played with in Leipzig do you think will have a better career when they retire? Like Odio, Szoboszlai, and Nkunku, Dani Olmo, that's Spanish.
Yeah, well, if you see now, 3 of them have gone to one of the 3 biggest teams in the Premier League. So obviously, I think Josko is still very young and he's playing for the best team in the world. So it will be very interesting to see what's going to be the next step and how long he's going to stay at City. And there's not many other clubs that are bigger than Man City at the moment. Maybe Real Madrid is an option. But Szoboszlai have done very well in Liverpool also. So and it was a deserved move for him as well, doing very well in Leipzig over the last couple of years. And the same with Christo. He's been unlucky with injuries this season. So I just hope that he will not struggle as much with injuries next season, and then they can see his full potential as well, because he's been or he is one of the best players I played with and against. So I think he's got a lot still to show in the Chelsea shirt. And then if he can perform on the level he did in Leipzig and even better, then he can reach as far as he wants. And then the same with Dani Olmo. I know he signed a new contract with Leipzig last season, but I think there will soon be bigger clubs chasing him from Spain, from UK. Yeah, there's a reason why they call him the magician. So he's unbelievable. All of them 4 are very good. So it's hard to compare them, like who will have the greatest career. They're still young, all of them also. So I think they have a lot to play for. And like I said, they are in 4 big clubs already, and they can play on this level for 10 more years at least. So it will be interesting to see.
Talking about Norway as a national team, you've played with Norway for more than a decade, and now there are a lot of players with a lot of talent. There's Odegaard, there's Haaland, Oscar Bob, Sorloth, Larsen. What do you think is missing to Norway to being in the same place as Spain, as Germany, as England, as France, to be a contender for big titles?
I think the main thing now compared to earlier is that we have more players abroad playing in the bigger leagues, and many, maybe all of them, are playing in their clubs as well. So I think that's a big step in the right direction, being able to compete with the biggest. We are not the biggest country when it comes to population, so I think that we already have this many in the big leagues are a good achievement. And then it's with the 2 top players like Haaland and Ødegaard playing for 2 of the best clubs in the UK at the moment. I think they are showing the way for young players also that is possible to achieve. And when and if we can get more players playing for the top teams also, it will be very, very important for us.
And now that we're talking about Premier League and about English football, you've been in Aston Villa and Bournemouth and Norwich and also in Reading. In 2019, you suffered a very bad injury when you were playing. And I wanted to know if it affected you in a mental health level, and how do you get along with such a long time without playing?
Well, of course it affects you because it was my first season in the UK. I used a little bit of time to adapt to the English football and to the team and to the league. But I think the 2.5 months before I got my injury, I played on a very high level. I think I was one of the contributors to how and when we took points, which was good for me, and I was playing the best football of my life. And then obviously the injury came out of nothing, which was very hard. I had my mom and dad over for Christmas. I had just dropped them off to the airport after the game we had the night before. They were traveling back home, and then we had a recovery session. And then when they landed in Amsterdam, I called them, and then I said I've ruptured my Achilles. And then I had also planned for 11 of my friends to come over and watch the game just 2 days after. So it was a very bad timing, but the worst was obviously, when it happened, it came when I was playing the best football of my life. So that was very tough, but luckily I had my wife and my family, my kids, which made it easier to disconnect from the bad thoughts, from so, and only think about the positive things, and being as a family. And then obviously my injury was kind of special as well, like a tendon rupture. You can always try to come back as quickly as possible, but I mean, like when the tendon is ready, it's ready. So the rehab was quite okay. It was long, but I think it was a good mixture of working and pushing, and then sometimes being able to relax and let it heal. So I think the main thing was I was not on crutches and not with the boot when I got married. So, and I was able to dance in my wedding as well. So that was the most important thing after my injury.
Now that we're talking about this mental health thing, now thankfully it's more spoken about, not only in world but also in sports, in athletes. And how do you think, like, there's usually said that, you know, you footballers are like people that, you know, earn so much money and stuff like that. I don't agree with it. Everyone can have problems and everyone suffers from mental health. And I wanted to know your point of view in this matter.
No, I totally agree. I mean, like, we're only humans as well. And I think if yes, footballers earn a lot of money, and maybe some earn a little bit too much, but I mean, like, they have always worked hard for how much they earn, and they are not the ones that decide what they will get. That are other people that are in charge of. So, and the thing I think is the most important to not forget there is that you play under a huge amount of pressure, not only for yourself, but I mean, if you have a bad day, you can let your teammates down, and not only your teammates, the millions of fans that are watching. It can be massive games like in the Champions League or in the Euros or in the World Cup that you play for a lot of money for your team or for your club or for your fans. So it's to not forget this, I think it's very important. And then obviously it's tough for someone. You need to be very mentally strong, and even if you're mentally strong, it would be good to have someone to talk to, because you need to like release what you feel, what you're thinking. You need to talk about different things, which can be very good and helpful, not only with your family, but someone that are professional to get your mind and your focus on the right path. So it's definitely a subject that are not spoken enough about, even though it's more in the wind the last couple of years.
And after your time in Leipzig in this season, you arrived in Sevilla, and I wanted to know what was the thing that made you accept coming to Spanish football, because you've been in several teams in UK, several teams in Germany, also Norway, but this is your first experience in Spain.
Yes.
And I wanted to know what was the thing that you said, okay, I want to pull the trigger, I want to come to Sevilla.
Yeah, no, we waited the whole summer really and talked to the sporting director, Victor Orta, who my agent knows very well. And then we were basically just waiting for Bruno to go. He was in contact with both Bayern Munich and Real Madrid, so it was a little bit of a disappointment for me that it didn't happen earlier. But in the end, it happened. So we were basically waiting the whole summer, just staying fit and training by myself and with my goalkeeping coach in Norway. Yes, just being ready for the opportunity. And then finally it came, Bruno got sold. I think the most important thing for me and for my family was to be able to still play abroad, because we had different offers in different countries, but we were waiting for this, the bigger opportunity, and then luckily it came with Sevilla, and I think what I got to perform at Leipzig and being able to do there, my year there, also helped me a lot to make this move, even though I didn't play as much as I wanted. But in the end, I could have chosen to stay there as well. But for me, the game time was more important, and I just thought the possibility of being able to play here and compete was better for me, was better for my family, and to learn a new language, which I had done before with German, was also very tempting. And then to live here with the sun and with my family is an adventure we couldn't say no to. So I think the choice was very easy.
You talked to me about the chance of learning a new language. Do you know, have you learned something in Spanish in the time you've been here in Sevilla?
Yeah, no, I've learned a lot. I think I can basically understand everything that's being said. So it's like I said with the German, it's important to get to know what's going on in the dressing room, like the jokes, everything outside of football as well, not only the football language. And then obviously the most difficult thing is to speak. But it's just to try and jump into it, because I know from experience having different players with different nationalities being able to just talk a little bit of Norwegian, which is my language, or English, it's easy to understand what they mean. So yeah, I mean, if you just try to talk as much as you can to learn new words and to be curious about learning new words every day, I think I can improve. But I think it's pretty well. I can have like easy conversations with people in the store or people in the streets, or So I think I'm getting to a level which is more advanced, but I just need to stay on top of it every day.
What's your favorite word or favorite phrase in Spain? Because there are the vocabulary we have here in Spain is different, and I wanted to know what's the thing that you like the most about the language.
No, the most appealing to me at the moment, because I come from Norway, where the weather is a little bit more not as sunny as here on the west coast of Norway. So maybe lloviendo cántaros is good description of the weather there sometimes. So and when it's raining in Sevilla, it's always raining a lot. So it's a good phrase.
And just for the end, I want to start doing a thing that it's a chain of questions. And
Yes.
so every person I interview, I want them to give me one question for the next one I interview. So you are going to be the first one. So I want you to ask you one question for the next player or coach or whatever it is that I will interview in the next interview.
Okay. So, but I'm not going to know who you're going to interview.
No.
No. Then the question would be, what's the biggest reason of the success they have achieved?
Perfect. Yeah. That's a really good question.
Yeah.